The fluorescent light of the conference room was a clinical white. It didn't feel like 9 p.m., but it was. It felt like a surgical theater. The COO, Mark, a man whose smile always looked like a trap, leaned back in his leather chair. "Karen, this meeting is for partners. Hang back at your desk." He didn't just say it, he snickered. A small, entitled puff of air that meant, "You are nothing. You are a cog. I am everything." I didn't flinch. I just looked at the untouched coffee cup in front of me, the ceramic warm against my fingertips, a perfect, controlled temperature. I hadn't moved because I had nowhere else to be. The COO, Mark, was where I'd been planning to be for 6 weeks. 6 weeks since the notification popped up on the burner phone I'd bought. An anonymous image, a time-stamped photo of my wife, Amelia, and Mark kissing in a midtown elevator. No sound came from me, no sudden gasp of betrayal, only a slow, deep breath regulating the surge of ice in my veins. My revenge wasn't going to be a firework. It was going to be a slow-motion avalanche. Mark waited for me to retreat, to take my subordinate place. I didn't. I just watched the accountant, a nervous man named David who seemed to be chewing on his own tie, slide a piece of paper across the mahogany table. A single sheet of paper. An invoice. David cleared his throat, avoiding eye contact. 10M from our new subsidiary, Apex Global. Services rendered. Q3. Mark snatched the sheet before I could touch it. "Just a formality, John. Standard intercompany transfer." His tone was too loud, too defensive. I took a slow sip of coffee. Black. Bitter. I placed the cup down with a faint, deliberate clink. "Apex Global," I said. My voice was low, controlled. The kind of voice you use when talking about the weather, not when discussing the embezzlement of company funds and the simultaneous betrayal of a marriage. "That's Amelia's shell corporation, isn't it, Mark?" The room went still. David froze, tie half chewed. Mark's confident smile didn't just vanish, it shattered. I have no idea what you're talking about," he choked out. The panic was immediate, a cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. The COO, the master strategist, reduced to a desperate lie. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I reached into my briefcase, not for a spreadsheet, but for the burner phone. I unlocked it, placing it flat on the table, screen up. The display was set to a specific folder, a video. "The invoice confirms the transfer," I stated, my gaze fixed on his eyes, not the phone. "The video confirms the motive." It was a 45-second clip, time-stamped 3 hours ago. Not the kiss, something far worse. It was a microphone hidden in Mark's office, recording his final conspiratorial call with Amelia, discussing their flight to the Cayman Islands in the morning. They weren't just sleeping together. They were fleeing the country with $10 million of company capital, funneled through the dummy corporation I had, for 6 weeks, pretended to know nothing about. Mark lunged for the phone. I was faster. My hand slammed down on the table, not on the phone, but just beside it, the sound sharp as a gunshot. "Don't," I ordered. "That video is also being live-streamed to the FBI, Financial Crimes Division, on a 5-minute delay. A precaution." His face went pale. The life drained from his eyes. His corporate kingdom, the one he just so smugly protected, was dissolving in front of him. Amelia was still packing, unaware. Their perfect escape was a perfect cage. I finally reached out, picked up the 10M invoice, and slid it back across the table. "Keep it," I told him, the words tasting like ash and victory. "You and Amelia will need it for legal fees. The firm is not covering those." I stood up. I didn't look back at the shattered, sweating COO, or the terrified accountant who would sing like a canary to save himself. My work here was finished. I had watched the storm of my own making wash away two people who thought their ruthlessness could ever surpass mine. Outside, the air was cool, clean. I inhaled deeply. Betrayal is just a data point. And the greatest power is not rage, but the absolute, cold control over its deployment. They were ruined. I was simply leaving the office.